Hey, welcome into another episode of the Fat Guy Podcast. I'm the Fat Guy. Most people just call me Brett Mason, although I've been known to be called other names. Some of them normal, some of them not so nice. Hey, I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to give you medical advice or to give you specific weight loss advice for you. I'm here to share my experiences and my knowledge about the ketogenic diet and how it can both assist with weight loss and reversal of biomarkers of type 2 diabetes. You should always consult with your doctor before you begin any kind of a diet or weight loss regimen. I must say that. My disclaimer would be if you have a doctor that balks at the idea of a ketogenic diet, I would highly recommend you find another doctor. Can you really get off diabetes medication after being a type 2 diabetic in only 4 days? You can't. It's insane. Now, will it happen for every single person? No, but it shows you what's possible. We're going to talk about that and some other remarkable cases on today's podcast. So if you're looking for some inspiration, you're a type 2 diabetic, you're somebody that's overweight, or you're both, and you're looking for some hope, I got truckloads of hope for you today. So hang around. Subscribe to us on social media. Fat Guy Podcast is the username, and that's the username you'll use for Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or even Snapchat. Just add us on all of them. All right? The other thing you can do is if you are listening to this on a podcasting app, like you already consume podcasts and you understand how all that works, and let's say you're using the podcast app on your iPhone that comes with it, or maybe you have a favorite podcast app that you use on your Android device, you can find us there under Apple Podcasts. We're easy to find. We're also in the Google Play Store podcast. So just search for Fat Guy Podcast. You'll find us. Subscribe to us. And here's the big ask I would give for you. If you're one of those people and you understand it, go to Apple Podcasts. It used to be just iTunes. Now they want you to call it Apple Podcasts. But go to the podcast page and leave a review. Please leave us a 5-star review. It will help Apple rate us higher so more people find the podcast and learn about this lifestyle and begin to reverse their type 2 diabetes and their obesity and morbid obesity and being overweight. Okay, it's all I ask. It's all I ask in exchange for all the hours I've poured into this podcast. That's the only thing that I ask, if you could do that. Now, if you're not really familiar with podcasting and all that, and it's a little bit, it like goes a little bit over your head, and trust me, I get that. I'm a podcasting freak now, but there was a time not that long ago when I didn't understand it either. But basically all I listen to now is podcasts. I love them. Here's a great app for you to download that'll make it really easy for you. Like if you're not all into the native app on iPhones, or you don't have a favorite podcasting app on Android, you can just go download the Spreaker app. Spreaker. Spreaker. When you download it, it's free. You can install it on your phone. Once you download it, go to search for Fat Guy Podcast. Once you find us, hit that heart button, follow it, subscribe to it, and not only you get updated about new episodes, you can scroll back and see all the previous episodes and get caught up on anything you missed, okay? So, most doctors, and it's starting to change, some doctors and even endocrinologists. Matter of fact, somebody that I worked with back in January on Keto is a nurse in an endocrinologist office, and he's full on board with keto now, and he actually has her because she's lost a lot of weight with keto, and she now spreads the word to his patients, and now they're seeing patients doing less medication or completely getting off their medication for type 2 diabetes. So there are doctors out there starting to get it. But for the most part, they don't. And for the most part, the official medical line is once you get type 2 diabetes, it's a progressive disease. We will try to limit its effects on you, but it will only get worse. And you're eventually going to die from some side effect of that, whether that be hemorrhaging in the brain, or stroke, or for most people it's heart attack. For some people it's cancer. Heart attack's the big one. Because of the damage it does to your arteries and a whole host of other issues that happen physiologically that I won't get into. It doesn't matter. If you're diabetic, you probably understand all that. So that's been the official medical line. I think that still is the official medical line. Type 2 diabetes is a progressive disease. It's only going to get worse, and you'll probably eventually die from some type 2 diabetes related problem. So I have good news for you. If you're one of those people, like I talked to somebody about a month ago, they were talking about they were spending $1,000 a month on diabetes medication and it's killing them. I'm like, look, you can get off that stuff. You can get off of it in a matter of weeks, worst case scenario, months. And even if you're one of the most hardened, hardcore, deep off into the weeds type 2 diabetics that is way out there, and there are people that it is so bad that you can't ever get off all your medication, you can get off most of it. Like, I personally know of people who have gone from 100, 150 units a day to where they don't even take insulin anymore and they only just take a pill. So while they're still having to take a pill, man, have they progressed so much more for the better. And then I can't tell you how many people that I know and have met that have just gotten off all medication. So about 2 weeks ago, I started promoting a new 7-day keto group where I would coach anybody that wanted to join. Anybody that wanted to sign up and join, I would coach you your first 7 days of keto, meal plans, what to buy, and all that stuff. And we all started that on Monday. Everybody in the group started it on Monday. And people are just now starting to post how they feel, how they've gotten through their first 4 days. And I'm not going to mention this person's name, but it's a woman, and she posted this in the group today. This is 4 days now, just 4 days. I'm reading her post verbatim. Day 4 in the books. I am 6.9 pounds down. Come on, let's be honest and just round that up to 7, okay? 7 pounds in 4 days is something to brag about. I'm down 6.9 pounds down. OMG. To top that off, my blood glucose has been an amazing number all day. I've taken no injections, no oral type 2 diabetes meds since last Saturday. I feel great, and I haven't had any issues with hunger. And then she posted a photo of her blood glucose meter where she checked it this afternoon and it was 83. That's on no type 2 diabetes medicines, no injections, and no orals, no pills since Saturday. That's 5 days, since basically the day before she started this. That is incredible. And that's not anything new. Like I get these kinds of messages all the time now from people that I have helped directly or people that I've helped indirectly. This isn't something that's unheard of. Like this is pretty much the standard. 3 days ago, I got this message from Jim. Heard you on one of your podcasts. I've been listening to them, and you talked about other people sharing their progress. I wanted to share mine with you. Thank you so much for your podcast. Today is 8 weeks for me. I started at 350 pounds, and today I'm at 304. I feel and look great. I haven't been this small in 20 years. It's incredible. And it's not isolated. Pretty much anybody that commits to eating a ketogenic lifestyle and commits to it, sure, the transition is difficult. I'm not going to paint you a rosy picture. Anytime you transition from being addicted to something, it will be hard. And you are a sugar addict. You are addicted to sugar. And you're probably addicted to sugar and caffeine. So you're a double drug addict. And so getting off those drugs is hard. And I hate to be blunt, but that's what it is. I can be blunt because I was a drug addict. Sugar's not a food. Sugar's a drug. And caffeine's not a food. Caffeine is a drug. And I've been addicted to both. You are a drug addict, and coming off drugs is hard. But look, it's a few days, you get through it, and your life will change. Here's another post from the 7-Day Keto group. 65 years old. I weighed 235 January the 9th when I started the keto diet. And this is somebody that I actually started giving advice to and trying to work with and help back in January. She had stage 3 kidney disease and was advised in March by her doctor to stop the diet. But she did some testing she said, I've been doing some testing for my kidneys and sugar readings. And so I decided to keep going. Long story short, at my last appointment, my kidney doctor came in, said my blood work was great. My kidneys had improved, and to keep doing what I was doing. That is incredible. That is, look, this stuff is, I'm not making this up. This is why I do this. This is why I answer the messages all day. This is why I answer the questions all day. This is why I share my life. I share my photos. I share my ups and downs because these stories, they're just crazy. This is another one that message that was sent to me, I think 5 days ago. Your cousin Greg introduced me to the ketogenic diet through your podcast, and I started listening. I wanted to share with you that since that, I have now lost 50 pounds, and my blood work looks amazing. You and your podcast are great. I just want to say thank you, and thank your cousin Greg. Y'all literally saved my life. And he sent a copy of his blood work that he had done. He had an HbA1c of 11.7. 11.7. And this was just, this wasn't a long time ago. Well, I've lost my, thing I was looking at. Where did it go? Okay. We open it back up. What was this? 5 weeks? He was 11.7 and now it's 5. Is it 5 even? Let me look at it. 5 even. Look. When doctors treat your type 2 diabetes with insulin or pills or something, they try to treat you down to a 6 and say that that's good. Or actually, I think it's a 7 because they're worried that you won't regulate it right and you'll fall too low and have issues. They don't even get you down to what's a healthy number. A healthy number is like 5.6 or less. That's where you're actually healthy. Doctors medicate you down to like 7, which is still not healthy, but it's better than it was. This guy started out at 11.7, and after, what is this, a couple of months on the keto diet, from 11.7 to 5 with his HbA1c. Look, every time somebody sends me one of these, I keep them. I like reading them, and I like sharing them because they're just, they're just encouraging to me, but they encourage other people. I want you to understand that there is better for you. You can feel better. You can get off drugs. You can lose weight. And when I mean get off drugs, you can get off type 2 diabetes drugs, and you can also get off sugar and caffeine, which are other drugs. Okay? Here's another one that came in. This I'm not going to mention his name either. Hey, Brad, I'm day 23 and have been very faithful keeping my keto diet. Thanks so much for your podcast and your advice. I just wanted to pop in and report a few awesome things I've experienced. I've been more energized than ever. My skin is clear now. I got clothes I can wear that didn't fit just a few weeks ago. I'm down from a 40-inch waist to a loose 36-inch waist. I don't weigh on a scale, so I'm just guessing that I've probably lost 20 pounds. I think you probably lost more than 20 if you went from a 40 to a loose 36. But, that could depend on your height or whatever. It's hard to know. Let's see. I've lost 16 pounds. I wish it was more, but hey, it's moving down and I'm happy. But I've found there's so many more benefits besides just the weight loss. I've lived with headaches all my life and had issues with insomnia. Since starting keto, I have not slept this hard in a long time. No matter my sleep schedule, I usually fall asleep in a matter of minutes after laying down. Once I got past that early keto flu stage, it's rare that I ever have a headache anymore. And I've always had some kind of glucose-sensitive issues, not really sure what my doctor would label it. When I'd get hungry, I'd get sick and be very moody. I think a bunch of you guys are probably familiar with this. It's called hangry. That's because you're a sugar addict. Anytime an addict needs a fix, they become very irritable, very moody, very angry. Same thing when you're a sugar addict. When I'd get hungry, I'd get very sick and feel very moody. I've always been that way. Those issues are gone. Now when I'm hungry, I just feel hungry. It's normal. There's no sickness, no ill mood attached to it. And another thing that has changed is I had neck and shoulder issues for the past 7 to 8 years. One chiropractor said it was out of alignment. Another one had a different diagnosis. Who knows the problem? But once I got into ketosis, my energy came back. I noticed all the inflammation in my shoulders disappeared, and I haven't had any problems with my shoulders since. Look, guys, I could go on. Like, every time I get sent one of these, I save it in a little folder on my phone called testimonials. A ketogenic diet, it really is life changing. It really can save your life, but definitely can change your life. And there's still time to join our 7-day keto group. So you didn't get in time to join Monday, but you can definitely still join. I'm going to leave the group open for a little while, for a few days. So you'll be able to get the menu and the shopping plan and understand about salt and electrolytes. You'll be able to look at all that information. You can watch all the videos I put in there. You can see what other people are doing. Go ahead, get on track, and you can start your 7-day keto. And it doesn't cost you anything. It's my gift to you to help you kick off your ketogenic lifestyle. So you'll find a link in this post. If you found this post on Facebook, the link will be in the post. If you found this somewhere else, it should be in the description, is where you will find the link, in the description of this podcast. Click it. You'll go to the Facebook group page. Request to join. I'll approve you, and we'll get you in. Now, podcasts are eternal, so if you're listening to this a year from now, the group may be defunct, and there's nothing really I can do about that. Just know that you can follow my Fat Guy podcast page and all my other social media and subscribe to the podcast and still get help. And you can contact personally if you'd like me to work with you personally. Thank you so much for listening today. Share this. You don't know whose life you will change today by sharing this podcast on your social media page, whether it be Twitter or whether it be Facebook. Share it. That's how I found it. That's how I've lost 125 pounds. Thank God somebody shared something about keto on their page and I found it. You want to change somebody's life today? Share this. You want to make sure the maximum amount of people get to hear these podcasts and know that there is hope for them? Go rate us on iTunes, please. Go to iTunes, to the Fat Guy Podcast on iTunes, and give us 5 stars and leave a few comments telling how much you love the information. And if we have helped you lose weight or helped you with type 2 diabetes or helped you with other issues from going keto, please include your testimonial in there and share it with the world. You don't know whose life that you'll help me change. We'll change lives together. Again, thank you so much. Have a great day. Subscribe to us on social media, Fat Guy Podcast. And also subscribe to the podcast. We're in the Apple Podcast. We're in the Google Play Store. Or you can download the Spreaker app if you're not familiar with either of those two things. Lots of ways to get us. And we'll talk to you next time. Thanks so much.